now.
Do you know this woman? Her brutal murder back in the 1980s with ties to the Jamaican mob? Solved. Case closed, right? Well, not so fast. That's because nobody knows who the victim really was, even 33 years later. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Tanaka.
And I'm Tiffany Tucker. So the case is still open for the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office. Investigator Sarah Goldenberg is here with Unidentified.
Cleveland in the 1980s. The Italian mafia started fading from the picture, but another mob was growing strong. The Jamaican mob, led by a ring in Miami, made its way up north, taking control of drugs and leaving behind violence.
Here's a forensic sketch that was done at the time.
Violence that creeped into a Cleveland Heights neighborhood one day in 1986. This woman's identity still a mystery today.
This is from one of the postmortem photographs of her taking away the severe injuries.
Angie Fisher is a parentage analyst for the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office. Her department uses DNA relationship testing to confirm biological relationships like maternity and paternity between known and unknown people.
Evidence talks for the decedent.
She's giving 19 Investigates an exclusive look at one of their most puzzling cases.
She had a boyfriend that knew her as Tanya Green and friends that knew her as Tanya Green.
That name was an alias, but what happened to her is not a mystery. Tanya's violent murder was solved a long time ago.
October 18th, 1986, someone pushed a woman's body out of a moving vehicle at Rayburn and Westburn Roads in Cleveland Heights. She had been shot at least 9 times, several times in the head. News reports at the time said she tried to swindle a drug dealer, and several men were involved in her death.
But this man would go down for ordering her murder. Robert Brown, a notorious drug dealer and killer operating in Cleveland. The Caribbean Task Force, made up of local police, linked Brown to about 20 slayings in South Florida since early 1980, according to the plane dealer. The newspaper reported Tanya was going to testify against Brown in another murder case before she was killed. 19 Investigates got a hold of her case file from Cleveland Heights Police. We found they contacted Fort Lauderdale Police and the FBI back in the 80s to confirm Tanya's name and look for family members. They believed she was from Florida. When a verdict came down in 1988, police closed the case. But decades later, Tanya's real identity is still a mystery at the medical examiner's office.
No one named Tanya Green has been reported missing from Florida, and she is not in the NamUs database as a missing person, Tanya Green. So we have very little to go on there.
X-rays and dental both entered into NamUs, a national online search for missing persons and unidentified persons. But no hits. They had no one to compare those records to.
Fingerprints also turned up nothing. These photos show the clothes Tanya was wearing the day she died.
And she had on a pink sweatshirt, blue jeans, white tennis shoes.
But the clothes didn't give them the DNA they need, so she has no DNA profile. Will what they do know be enough to jog someone's memory? She was 5'6" and 119 pounds, between 32 and 42 years old when she was found dead.
It is likely that her clothing that we had initially and then we had to release to law enforcement agencies, it's likely that it was disposed of because the case was solved.
Fisher knows somewhere out there this woman called Tanya has a family who decades later may have no idea what happened to her. She wants to bring them those answers.
So it's sad to me and other people that work on these cases that they don't have names or someone is wondering where they are.
Tanya Green is just one of more than 50 people the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office is trying to identify. These cases stretch back decades, their deaths often tragic, murders or accidents. Learn more about how they're trying to solve them tonight at 11. Sarah Goldenberg, 19 News.